Hi, so this is, I think, update number 7, which means it's the 5th in the series of question and answer ones, and probably the last question and answer one until I get some more questions. These are kind of very deep questions from my friend Jacinta, very, very dear, close friend who has helped me through very tough times in the past. I've still got these persistent hiccups as a side effect of one of the side effect medicines of chemotherapy. I've been recording the last 5 videos all on the same day, basically the day after I came out of hospital for my second chemo treatment. So Jacinta asked how I've changed since I had the cancer diagnosis. I don't really know how to answer that. I've probably changed a lot. I've become so full of gratitude for certain things I have, even though I'm in a horrific situation, potentially, well, probably facing the end of my life relatively soon. So the changes, I guess, I've been thinking a lot about things, you know, how I've spent my life, what's been good, what's been bad. Generally I think I've done pretty okay. I've always got the most out of helping other people, even though I haven't done it nearly as much as I should. Being involved in community stuff, particularly technology community stuff, has been a huge thing for me, and has made it, you know, those are the really good memories I look back on. Obviously, all the time with my children has been amazing. I homeschool my son, so I made a decision to homeschool him. That decision I made it, well, probably before, when he was born, I thought, I'm not going to have my children in school. But obviously I'm so glad I made that decision, because it means we're very close. Spent a lot of time with him, and of course continue to do so because he's at home right now, although he's tucked up in bed. It's almost 10:30 here in Tokyo in the night time on Tuesday night. So that was a really big thing, was that you know, I made a decision for a whole bunch of reasons, but obviously didn't enter into my head that it might, you know, I might have quite a short life, because I'm 36, although I know I look about 56 at the moment, and even when I'm super healthy I look 46. So that, yeah, the homeschooling thing's been a really big thing. If you do have children, get them out of school, you know, just do whatever it takes, rearrange your life, whatever, quit your job, find a work from home thing, whatever you have to do. You know, children are, well, they're obviously the most precious thing on earth, clearly. There couldn't be any other way. And school is not a good place for kids. It's a very, very hostile environment. It's a very silly environment. Everything they learn, everything they learn there is irrelevant, or is nonsense, or is deliberately wrong. It's not a place for kids at all. So do what it takes to get your kids out of school, please. You'll make the world a better place. And in the future, there probably won't be schools in the way there are now anyway. So they're anachronistic. They're very silly. So that's a big thing. Jacinta asked me about happy memories of times with other people. As some of you may know, that obviously I came to Japan about 10 years ago now, and yeah, just lots of happy memories of getting to know people in Japan. People tend to, at least at that time, people tended to leave Japan after just a year, kind of non-Japanese. But I, you know, still enjoyed meeting those people a lot, getting to know them. I loved giving talks in the different technology communities. So I was involved in like Ringo, which is the Apple users group here, Tokyo Linux users group. I've given some talks about Raspberry Pi, which is a small computer for helping children get into creative computing. So yeah, those are all the best memories really. Visiting Hacker Farm with my son, going to Berlin, Japan with my son, trips we've had as a family. Jacinta asked how I want to be remembered. I'd like to be remembered as someone who realised that most of what we see in the world is not true. Most of it is just not true. It's the strongest factors in the world are basically habit and stupidity, and that's what that's what guides most societies, most groups of people. I believe there is a lot of truth that can be found, even in odd places. So I'm always trying to look for what's the genuine thing, who are the genuine people, how can I have those people in my life, and I think I've done quite a good job. Well, in fact, I know, just looking at the past couple of months since my cancer diagnosis, people who I've known for a long time have kind of just shone through as being just amazing. So that's really wonderful. So I'd like to be remembered as someone who made a bit of an effort, not just a spectator in life. Nothing wrong with being a spectator in life, but I've tried to do things, I've tried to organise things. I was involved in setting up the Tokyo Hackerspace, which I think has been a very good thing. I ran a one-day tech conference twice with my friend Satiko and some other friends who all helped a lot, and some people who became good friends as well. Jacinta asked what have I had to face and what's kind of been the hardest thing. Well, initially just facing the fact that I may only live a few months. That's a very hard thing to deal with, because what do you do in those few months? And as I said, probably in a interview with my friend Mark, who very kindly interviewed me for his podcast, I'm having to do three diametrically opposed things, kind of three opposite things, which is concentrate on being hopeful and just doing the treatments as best I can, and making the choices about the right treatments and being well informed and talking to the doctors about the right things and asking the right questions. So that's one thing which needs all my attention. Another thing is, of course, spending time with friends and family, and spending really quality time with the kids especially. And then the third thing is preparing for when I'm no longer here, which could be, potentially a few months away, depending on how the cancer, if and how the cancer spreads. So that third one is at odds with the first two to a very high degree, So I've made recordings for my kids. I'm going to start doing videos for them. I'm going to do birthday cards for them, that kind of thing, so that when I'm not here, they have some guidance from me. And I'm going to I've done some recordings for my wife, but I'll probably do some more for her as well. Pretty grim stuff, pretty heavy stuff. My family have basically seemed to be doing okay. It's toughest on my wife. The kids, Jessica's is almost 3, so she's kind of oblivious. Well, she knows that I've got trouble. She knows I'm not here sometimes when I go to hospital for sort of 4 days at a time. Or obviously my surgery, I was in hospital for over 2 weeks. And and my son Edward, who is 7, going to be 8 in February, he knows a lot about what's going on, and that's tough. Had some very difficult conversations with him, and also conversations where I've been very happy but have been crying because of happiness or very touching things that he's said or he's been trying to do for me. So those are the things I've had to face. The worst things by far, though, are finding out about permanent damage. So I got some permanent nerve damage from the bowel surgery that took out the big tumour. Looking into it, I found it's quite common, but it's upsetting. It's an emotional thing. It's nerves that you don't want damaged, basically, and has going to have a permanent effect for the rest of my life, however long it is. My colon could not be reconnected, so I got a colostomy bag. That takes a lot of emotional facing up to. The practicalities of it are not terrible at the moment, but remember, at the moment I haven't really had much of a life. It's just cancer, cancer, cancer all the time. So the colostomy bag is going to be more of an issue when I go out and stuff. Go and kind of meet people out away from my home, especially away from hospital. Other things having to face, very practical stuff, like it's very hard for me to sleep at night. So I've had to start taking some sleeping pills, but I need to be very careful because sleeping pills are bad and they are addictive. The reason they're bad is that they interfere with your long-term memory. So maybe 10 years in the future or 5 years in the future, when you try to remember back to now, the sleeping pills will not, they will have prevented you forming the memories. Another thing to cope with is just I've got a pipe that goes from my shoulder towards my heart, which is where they put in the chemotherapy. That's a constant unpleasant reminder, and it makes it uncomfortable to sleep, uncomfortable to sit, because there's a big lump there called a port, which is where they inject into, and it's just a very unpleasant thing. So that's just the stuff I've been facing up to, really. But to counter all that, there's been amazing support from you and other people like you. The fundraising is going well. I think Rick, my friend Rick Martin, asked me about this. I think the fundraising is now about a quarter of the target, so 25% of the target. The fundraising is for treatment that is not covered by my Japanese national health insurance. So it's for the immunotherapy and the hypothermia therapy, and in the future maybe any other advanced treatments that are open to me. I'll obviously try anything if there is some scientific basis for why it would work, and especially if there's some kind of trials that show it does work. The trials and research for stuff like that are very important, because it's not just they show it works, but that's how they develop the protocols of how to use it best. And basically things without protocols, it's just case by case. The doctors just have to do what they want to do. Stuff without protocols is never going to be funded by national health insurance, because they wouldn't know how to administer the treatment. You need a robust protocol that says have these treatments over this period of time in this way. So I'm willing to really try anything where there has been some kind of evidence and protocols starting to be in place. So that's it really for this video. Please do share it. Please comment on the video or on the Facebook post, because it's the only way I know you've watched it. It's hard to keep track of it. I can't sort of individually message people and say, have you watched my video yet? I'm very grateful that you have watched it, but please do let me know in a comment or whatever, because that also inspires other people to watch it. And please go to the fundraising page, which is www.matthewdons.org, and there's a link under the YouTube video. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for your support. Cheers.